Fury, one of those two as well early on. But otherwise, it should be a fairly straightforward build-up for the Troll. It feels like it has been a while since we've seen this hero pop out. It certainly feels like other cores have taken that spotlight, but you see a couple of teams go back to this, and it's still fairly safe. It still does what you want it to do, and again, it's still a fairly straightforward build-up. You're not going to be too hard-pressed with timing. It certainly does come online faster than Morph, so you're going to have some tempo for yourself. But forward, they go with a Razor, and that's a great response to the Troll. You know, you're not going to have a great time as this Troll. Your damage is going to be sapped away, then suddenly just kind of tickle. But that's a great pickup for CCNC. In lane against Ori as well, it should be interesting. He will be, again, sapping away a lot of that damage, and the TA doesn't have the greatest range early on, so it's something you can really abuse this forward.
Certainly is, but that does put a lot of pressure on Yuan now, being that really hard kind of right-clicking hero that they need. Because we'll see if Yuan can have the space he needs, like he did in game number 2, to be able to get to that point. CCNC going to have to really carry him until then, but both drafts fairly interesting, and it's good to see that they're both very different to what we've already seen before. Overall, I will ask you one time, John, in your opinion, who do you think came out on top?
I'm going to have to say, I do like Forward's draft this time around. Like, just the response for that Razor last pick. It's going to do a lot of work. There's a lot of value in that pick. We have seen Snaking on Amaris just be an absolute menace with it. And Uwar this time around should be able to get that start he wants, because we are seeing a bit better of a tied-up draft from Forward compared to Game 1 when we saw that Morphling. He had a rough time. He didn't really have his other cores buying him space. This time around, it looks like they should be able to do that and buy him enough time to be online. Vici really have to make sure they get that early momentum. They have to play around Warlock Ultimate as well, maximize that spell, clear out the map while they can before Uwar is online. Once he gets online, that Morph, you don't have the best tools to stop him from doing what he wants to do.
Certainly not. Last game of this series, winner of this game, of course, will take it 2-1. A lot of pressure on both sides to try and get themselves a good start going into this group stage. Of course, Vici Gaming with this draft arguably going to be able to be online a lot earlier than Forward Gaming. Just with that TA and that Troll Warlord, they can fight so much quicker than a Morphling can. You are, again, going to have to really have his work cut out for him this time around. Did a great job on the Sven. He was top of the net worth for pretty much the whole game. But the Morphling is a bit of a different story. It's a lot slower to farm because you don't have that natural inbuilt cleave. See how much work he can get done on this hero. Of course, interesting to note, it looks like they've put Fade on the Earth Spirit. Where's Yang? There he is. He'll be coming up to the top lane as well, already with the double Stout Shield. I do wonder. I doubt they will, but as of right now, they are kind of running a bit of a tri-lane. I imagine the Warlock will probably TP down in the bot lane to help out Paparazzi on the Troll, but they did this last time around. In the game number 1, they ran a tri-lane up against Yuwa, and it did make his life a living hell. I wonder if they'll opt to do it again.
If they do, they will be facing off against tri-lane from Forward themselves as well, and there is a bit more sustainability from this lane. Again, with that Abaddon, you're going to be able to heal up Uwar at the very least, protect him a bit better than you did in Game 1, and, you know, just give him more opportunities to stay alive. That's going to be the key thing here, keeping Uwar alive. If he has a good laning phase, he gets online, he finds that early farm, he's going to be able to do that work in the mid to late game. But you really have to invest in keeping this guy alive.
Well, Forward already get a pretty nice start for themselves. 3 bounty runes to the way of the Dire. Vici only managed to snag 1, and that was Paparazzi getting his bounty rune stolen away from him from snaking on that Mars. Of course, the spear was committed to be able to knock him back for that anyway, but nevertheless, top lane. They won't be running that tri-lane aggressively. Vici, they will keep it just Yang and DY up at the top lane. Same thing will kind of happen though at the bot lane as well. Snaking will have the assistance of MSS there. Fade, of course, just TP down on the Earth Spirit to help out Paparazzi on that Troll Warlord. You'd imagine though, Fade probably won't last too long at the bot lane. Just probably going to soak at level or 2 and just start rotating through to that mid lane where you want to try and take care of CCNC before he gets out of control.
You definitely have to keep a watch on that Razor. He is going to be online no matter what. he's not going to have a too rough of time. Again, the static link on something like the TA early on is going to be really good, and TA does rely entirely on the right-click damage to clear out these waves. So if CCNC gets his positioning right, Ori shouldn't be finding too much farm here at all.
Paparazzi, excuse me, you are. Got to be careful. Hoof Stomp was there from Yang, but it doesn't throw it out. Paladai will salve himself up, but they did fall rather low up at that top lane. You haven't even got that Fatal Bonds yet on DY yet, but once you do, it's going to be even harder, although Yang kind of stuck in that tree line a bit. Does have another Tango available if he wants to just cut himself through, but it looks like he will just make it out. And Paparazzi so far as well. On that troll, having a decent time. Even with having that Rubik and Mars, it's not going to be so easy to shut this troll down until at least you have that level 6 on snaking. But even then, odds are you're probably going to have Battle Trance available on Paparazzi, and that's kind of make it useless. Unless, of course, you do have that weird combo where if snaking walks out of the arena and the Battle Trance is set to him, then you have the troll continuously walking into the wall, which I suppose is going to be pretty hilarious to watch in a sense. But you've got to make that happen, though.
You definitely do. I think you have to watch out for the laning combo of Telekinesis into Spear. That is pretty potent. The damage might not be there early on, but maybe by level 3 or 4 it's going to be piling up from the Mars. And you will have to be conscious about that coming out from this lane. Again, we have seen that to effect before. So you have to kind of watch your spacing here as Paparazzi.
We saw Pylai denying himself earlier on, so just with the miscall spam as we're used to seeing, nothing too special there. We'll return back into the lane, pretty normal stuff. Mid lane, CCNC is having a great old time. 14 last hits, 6 denies on the Razor. Ori is keeping up pretty well though. 12 last hits, 8 denies for himself as well. Another trade kind of mid lane going on here. It's like most of Vici's focus is just trying to make sure Yuwa doesn't get farmed, and he's having a bit of difficulty with 10 last hits, 4 denies. They haven't been able to shut him down too much, and you've got to give that a lot of credit to Parlay Die on that. Abaddon, of course, just the miscall spam. Gonna be very annoying. Just the Morphling Abaddon is a pretty ridiculous kind of combination to have, especially with that agility morph. You just heal him up by about half HP. Though mid lane, CCNC gonna be in trouble. Fade makes a rotation. CCNC tried to make a play on Ori. Fairy Fire does get consumed, and now MSS comes in with the Fade Bolt. And both cores will end up surviving just fine. Neither really winning out anything there. They both have to heal themselves up in the end. CCNC, though, trying to be aggressive while he can. Meanwhile, Pylai Dai going to have to deny himself off again, and does do so pretty easily. So we still are waiting for the first blood from either side. None coming out quite yet.
It's a pretty measured and cautious game again. We tend to see this every time we hit a game tree. It just kind of slows down a bit, although it does look like, Vici is trying to pressure as much as they can, but it's just hard. In this top lane, you are in Pylai Dai again. It's just way too tanky to really burst down, and they have a lot of sustain, so it's actually a much better game for Yawar compared to game 1. He should be able to find his timings on this morph. It shouldn't be too hard. He's not really being shut down.
Because Paparazzi still basically having a free farm lane of his own. Snaking, trying his best to shut Paparazzi down, but there's only so much you can do as a Mars by yourself. At the very least, they do appear to get 3 more banner runes on the side of Forward Gaming, so they do get that little gold boost once again. But Paparazzi at this rate is going to be online pretty darn fast. Not to mention, last game you saw Yang having a difficult time on the Sand King. This time around on the Centaur, he's having absolutely no trouble. So you've got that concern of having the position 1 online very quickly, but as well as that, Yang, he's going to have whatever he wants on the Centaur.
He is definitely farming up just as well, but it comes down to a trade lane, right? And it does kind of favor forward still. Granted, Yang with gold, Yang with farm, can do a lot of work, but it's still against a Morphling you haven't shut down.
They just continue to try to do so, but the Strength Morph immediately coming out from Yuwa. Pylai Dai, again, miscall spam while he agility morphs, and Pylai Dai will go for the deny, although no, DY!
Oh, man.
Oh, it's a classic Pylai Dai move right there. Does end up losing his life. He wanted to go for that missed call, but with the nerf, with the range of the missed call now, you do have to just remain closer to the target, and it does cost him in the end.
It's just a tiny misstep like that does cost him that in the lane. Although he does come back in again, full HP, full mana. He will be able to keep your war up alive and healthy, and at the very least you didn't lose your Morphling, so you're still not going to be unhappy if you're forward. And this lane does kind of stay in that equal zone.
Still though, you want... I mean, he's having his lane. He's 26 last hits, 8 denies, so it's not... I mean, he's not falling that far behind, but it's not amazing either. I guess if you're forward gaming, you're probably still happy that he hasn't died. Meanwhile, mid lane, Fade ends up dropping, though they will get CC as a trade. So Ori does manage to find some redemption. That is definitely going to go Vici Gaming's way. Just finding that mid Razor, for the price of your Earth Spirit, you're really not going to care.
Definitely don't. Then again, we are starting to see Ori really pull away. I'm actually a bit surprised that CCNC isn't sapping as much damage as you'd want. He does go for the unstable current build as well, which means his link rate isn't that great. You know, he's not going to be sapping too much from Ori. I think that may be a bit of a mistake, as again, if you position yourself right, if you have your support there, static linking this TA is going to cost him very early on. The unstable current does kind of secure you farm, but kill potential is not going to be coming out from that.
While I die, ends up going down to DY once again. The miscall just wasn't enough damage to deny him, and now they are trying to take down Yang, and they will find him. MSS will pick up that final bit of damage, though look at Fade. He's ready to roll in. The slow was there from the upheaval. But no, Fade hasn't rolled in yet. Although now he will, and he will connect as well. Boulder Smash to finish the job. A great play from Fade. A lot of patience from this Earth Spirit, but he connects perfectly. That was blind, by the way. He did not know where he was.
Yeah, he had some vision beforehand, but by then was blind. I think he was waiting for the Morphling to drop a bit lower to those neutrals. Didn't want to risk it, having him live through and potentially die as well, being punished with MSS so nearby. So that patience does pay off, and again, Fade is doing a lot of work on this Earth Spirit, which is really what you want to see. This hero does tend to be active early on, making space, buying that time for your cores. And, you know, it has been paying off. The one lane where it's been kind of dry has been that bot lane, but Paparazzi still finding that farm he wants on his hero, despite the fact that Snaking is also farming up quite well. Paparazzi's not shut down. It's all the same stories up top.
Arena of Blood doesn't actually catch Paparazzi, though they get the spear off and the link as well from CCNC. Paparazzi definitely dead here, and he does go down. Didn't even have the Battle Trance available to use, even if he wanted to. Ori, though, will try to find a trade now. He does a lot of damage to Snaking. Snaking trying to back out, and a nice spear will ensure he gets away. Ori going to be able to farm up regardless, but that was a very important kill on the Troll Warlord that Forward Gaming needed.
Definitely was. You slow down this, again, farming hero on VG's side. At the same time, Forward has not lost Yawar, so that contrast, that comparison, Yawar is definitely having a bit of a better time, and it is a bit rough for Paparazzi here. He is ahead in terms of levels, though. That's because he has an entirely solo lane. But it also leaves Paparazzi much more susceptible to these rotations, which Forward is doing again.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with this at all, right? You wouldn't expect the second time gank, though Paparazzi's standing right next to them waiting for that bounty rune. I think they spotted him out as well. MSS got to get the lift off. Not in range and doesn't actually quite catch him. Nevertheless, they do secure those bot bounties, and again, you'll see Forward get 3 of them off the map. Parlay die, and a TP out safely. Meanwhile, you are going to be chased down by Yang, but Who Stomp is cancelled off. Trying to find the perfect one, and does find it in the end. Can they burst him down, though? Waveform will allow him to get away. They do have Stampede if they really want to, but it looks like they will just hold on to it.
They are trying to clear that creep wave because the bonds did cop onto Yawar. Not enough damage, though. Like, again, that's pretty optimistic to go for. He can just morph some more strength as well. That does force him away from the lane, so that is a bit of an opening. They should be able to do quite a fair bit of damage in this tier 1, if not outright take it.
There will be some TPs coming out from Vici. They want to try and defend. DY, he does have the Golem available. So best to get that on cooldown, but all of Forward Gaming are here ready to go. They do jump in. It was Fade that jumped in first with the Magnetize, but that won't do much. Now the Golem behind actually catches 3, but the Arena of Blood comes out, and that actually blocks out the Golem. They're going after Fade on that Earth Spirit, but they don't get the damage done. And with that, Ori, he'll TP in. He goes straight after CCNC, and he's just a sitting duck right now. Nobody there to help out. Now Yuwa jumps in as the Troll Warlord. They'll get the deny off onto Parlay Die. Troll may end up dying, though no. Battle Trance does come out. Paparazzi, he's going to make a chase now onto MSS with that Battle Trance. And he might be in massive trouble now as it wears off. He does go down to Yuwa. They try to chase down Ori, that massive target that they need. But they might go for DY instead because he's just an easier target to go for. In fact, they will just opt to back out instead. The one positive, though, for Vici Gaming is that the Tier 1 tower does remain at the bot lane. But the top lane Tier 1 tower for the side of Forward Gaming does go down to Yang on the Centaur.
It definitely does. That does give them a bit more map control, and, you know, you're still kind of happy. I mean, you get 2 heroes at the cost of 1. It's a slight win. It's just not the one hero you wanted to lose at any single point. But that was a lot of resources from Forward onto that Tier 1 down pot, so you save that for a while. It's still going to fall anyway. Like, the Fortify is out, but Duar's probably not going to be backing off.
He will eventually find it. Ori gonna show up in that mid lane as the TA. Has the blink queued up and does opt to buy it out, so he won't go for the Desolator Rush first, but rather the blink. Obviously, it does seem like Vici Gaming do need that little bit of mobility on Ori so he can set up for those big pickoffs. The Desolator, probably just a bit of overkill this early on. Rather go for it a bit later on if you can afford to. Meanwhile, Snake King also ends up picking up a Blink Dagger on the Mars now. And they are heading towards that bot lane where they will find Fade on the Earth Spirit. They will get the Spear off, and now Snake King setting up what's to be an easy kill with that lift as well. And Yuwa will be the one to pick the kill up.
They are really rather active on the map now as Forward. They smoke up immediately afterwards as well. And they are trying to build up. They understand that they have this slight early game advantage in terms of skills and item timings, so they should be able to maximize that as they so choose.
Well, they're going to go for that Tier 1 tower in the mid lane now. Arena of Blood is up, and a nice scan will come out from Vici Gaming, so they are aware of where Forward Gaming are. They do have the Golem drop available in 10 seconds from now. You just want to drag this out a bit longer to have that Golem available, but it looks like Forward may just opt to back out as well. So, Yang gonna stick around. MSS almost looked like he was gonna try and make a play there, but tanky Centaur you're dealing with, you probably don't want to risk it. Forward, yeah, they're just gonna back off. Like, it just looks like they're just trying to buy themselves time right now, again, for Yuwa on that Morphling. Like, you don't want to really get into a team fight when you've got Ori at the top of the net worth board right now on the TA. With that Blink Dagger as well. It just doesn't seem like the greatest idea for the Dire.
Definitely doesn't, but again, they have these item pickups that they could maximize.
Yang.
They're going to go now.
Yeah, Arena of Blood goes down onto 2. They have caught out the Warlock before the Golem drops, so the Stampede comes in. DY does not get it off in time, though, and now Yang's in trouble. Waveform out, Yuwa trying to slow him down, and now the stolen Stampede being used against Yang, and they will find him. And now Paparazzi, he came in on the Troll Warlord, but he can't afford to do that. They're going to chase him down. They miss the initial spear. He runs towards his shrine, and now may have to pop the Battle Trance, although they do get Yuwa on the Morphling. Now Paparazzi, Battle Trance has been popped. Parlay Die gonna go down, and Vici Gaming somehow turn that around. They might even find MSS on the Rubik. Boulder Smash connects perfectly from Fade as well. The man's a sniper with this hero, I tell you, John.
He has been finding those long-range kills, and you know he has been doing that work ever since the start. It was a pretty messy teamfight going the way of Forward. Again, they get that massive pivotal kill on DY, killing him off before that Golem drop was there. It didn't matter at the end. They had the stolen Stampede as well. It feels like it didn't work out because, again, you left Ori completely alone. And when Ori has that space to do what he wants.
Gonna find Snake King mid lane, but there's no follow-up. Vici Gaming are really set up for this Tier 1 mid tower. And a Radiant Fortify comes out. Maybe just to save that siege creep that they have there, and it looks like that was the case. Dire will fortify as well, though. Do Forward actually go for this? They have another arena available. Looks like CCNC will get it started onto Yang. Arena now as well, but the golem drop is there this time around. Yang just going to turn around and try to go after Snaking or CCNC. And well, now Ori's here to join in, and he wants to fight. They roll in perfectly. Yawar just trying to get the hell out of there. And it looks like Vici Gaming got what they came for. And again, it just feels like they can't afford to fight Ori on that TA. Ori looking for more though, but won't find that either. Looks like that'll be the end of that. They do move up towards the top tier 2 now.
That was a pretty messy fight from forward. Again, they dropped that Arena out, but this time around, a spear from Snaking actually missed the first time, so Arena doesn't do as much as you'd want, and then just kind of falls apart from there. They do manage to save their heroes in the end, but that mid-tier 1 being gone, they are not going to be able to stop this upper tier 2 as well, due to the fact that, again, they've already expended that Arena. Not that long of cooldown, to be fair.
They have smoked up. They will run into Paparazzi, but you don't have to disable for him. Although, no, the spear will not connect on the tree. Just inches off that tree line, and, well, Fade, he'll TP out as well. That's a real shame. That Paparazzi kill would have been amazing for forward, but they will not find it. A Stampede being popped. Not sure why.
They saw Yawar in the jungle. They popped the Stampede, but they don't initiate. That is pretty strange. It's this lack of a blink from Yang that's costing him. And once he has that up, which it will be in a fair bit, he's just about 200 gold away, he should be able to set up and find these kills again. If he can get that instantaneous stun onto Yawar, of course that's going to be massive. The guy only has like 540 HP when he's fully shifted to Agi. And we were talking about Yawar having a decent enough start in the laning phase. It doesn't look that way anymore. He's at 6.1k net worth. Compare that to Ori's 9.9k, even to his own Razor's 7.2. He isn't at the top, and that's really not what you want to see from the Morph. Is trying to rush that Manta style as well. The added stats will help, but as of yet, he's a very soft target for the heroes of VG.
VG Gaming looking to set up on that bot tier 1 tower. Well, we're doing the same at the top tier 1. Thing is though, Ori has that Desolator up, so he takes these towers so much quicker. Takes down the tier 1, goes straight for the tier 2, and is going to try and force forward Gaming back to defend this tier 2 tower. They are going to continue pursuing the tier 1 top. Ori, he won't bother with the tier 2 anymore, but rather they are going to try for a team fight. Looks like they have found CCNC once again on that Razor, and he's just a sitting duck right now. He goes down, they roll for more. Fade will not find the secondary target. That was, of course, MSS on that Rubik just TPing out immediately. But you've already lost CCNC once again on the Razor, and now that opens up the Roshan for VG Gaming to take.
And it's not going to be an easy contest for forward. They do have the Arena up, but without that Razor, your secondary frontliner, tanky frontliner, is not going to be there, although they should be able to spot this one out.
Spear doesn't connect anyway. While I die, I wouldn't recommend running that way, sir. Or a time being popped by one Meld Strike. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it is a very low cooldown, but you never know, Vici. I mean, they're in their... At least for Ori, he's basically in the prime of the hero right now. You could argue you could get the BKB, maybe a Daedalus, something like that, but this is that point where a TA is basically unstoppable. So perhaps...
It really is.
Perhaps they'll continue being the aggressors in this match.
It's down to the fact that CCNC didn't manage to shut down Ori down mid. You know, it's perhaps not the most favorable matchup in the world, but it's certainly something you can work as the Razor, and it just doesn't come out. They commit a couple of support rotations as well to no effect, and it has been paying off for VG. Ori has really set the tempo here, buying enough space for Paparazzi to recover after a pretty rough start in that lane, and he is playing catch-up in farm as well, second in net worth now. So you're starting to see everything come together for VG.
VG Gaming just going to smoke up behind Ori. They want to go into that mid lane, because you do have the blink now available on Yang, so he's looking for that initiation. Forward, got to stick together as a team right now. CCNC across the other side of the map, but he does have a TP available wherever necessary. Paparazzi will basically do the same. He's just trying to farm up on that troll. Try to get that BKB up before he joins his team. Bit of a similar spot that we saw in game 1 for Yawar, right? He's got the Morwood mask and the Yasha up. He's going into that Manta, but really nowhere near that point where he can join the team and help out yet. And now Vici Gaming, they're going to go after CCNC once again, out of position. Yang's going to find the hoof stomp, and with that, he is dead. TP cancelled off. There's just no way out of this one. I'm kind of shocked he was even farming there, John. I mean, they had the Observer wards, but everyone missing off the map kind of indicated a bit of a smoke going on.
You know, he has been in that position for a while now, and he didn't really pull out, so... I mean, he's been farming that top lane for at least a full minute, which is a really long time, of course. And they do lose their tier 2 on top of that as well, so not the best piece of news for Forward. Fortunately enough, again, as that happens, you are kind of buying space for Yawar, and he is growing ever bigger. Third in net worth, not a bad spot to be in considering the start he had, but he still has a lot of work to do.
Absolutely. Well, snaking. Running forward, he does ride down the arena. DY, the only one stuck in there, though. Now he drops the golem on 3 of them. Boulder Smash doesn't connect. Are they going to keep going? That's a nice Fatal Bonds out as well. Doing a lot of damage just by that DY golem. And now Ori, he jumps in. MSS was going to be the target, but he gets away just barely. And so instead of going for the hero kills, which they can't really reach, they'll go for that tier 2 tower. And Ori by himself can take this out. Like, it's really no contest for him. But they will jump in. Spear is there. It does connect as well. Can they burst this TA down? They'll find the Aegis. One more time would be fantastic for the side of Forward, but easier said than done. They'll get the tier 2 and now Fade looking for another target. Ori jumps in, gets a BKB, gets Parlay Die. Stampede being committed now as well. Who do they actually want? MSS falling very low just to the Fatal Bonds. He goes down to DY. Now they found another in CCNC and he's gone as well on the Razor. The buybacks are coming out and now Yawar jumps in to try and help out, but they've lost Snaking on the Mars. There's no buyback on 3 heroes. Fade barely missing that roll on the Morphling. Fatal Bonds now coming out from MSS and that actually does a lot of damage once again. But there's no follow-up to it, so they'll be able to get out of there quite safely. Still, they do manage to save their tier 3s, but it doesn't look very good when you get wiped out that easily by the side of Vici.
It's not a good sign at all. Like, at the very least, you didn't expend that Arena of Blood this time around in the defense. I think that actually costs you that defense as well. That fight doesn't work your way, because that's not quite there. You are actually joining into the defense as well. Doesn't do enough as the Morphling. He only has that Manta style up at 24 minutes, and again, it's not that bad. Especially compared to his Game 1 progression, it's just not good enough up against what VG has. And again, they are at their peak, not quite at the max potential yet, but it's their moment to shine. It's when all 3 heroes are online.
Well, things just got worse for Forward as the BKB now comes out onto Paparazzi, so he's going to be able to jump in a lot safer with his team in the middle of those team fights. He's already a bit of a menace to deal with. Second in net worth right now, only second to Ori on that TA. And speaking of Ori, he's just trying to finish off that Hurricane Pike. We saw the BKB reveal coming out just as that team fight started the last time around. So he still has that 9-second charge available. Now the 25-minute bounty runes, but they've got to be careful on Forward. I don't think they can afford to be greedy about this. In fact, they do. Snaking. He gets caught out, and look at the damage Ori's dealing right now. Just way too much to deal with. And this time around, Vici Gaming will be the ones that get the 3 bounty runes.
It's good pick off to get. It's a good amount of gold to inject to everyone else. Again, Vici is just at their peak. Forward right now needs to tighten up their ship a bit. They need to clump up a bit more together. Just stay together while farming up, protect each other's backs. They can still take these team fights. You know, we have seen them do that a couple of times. They just can't afford to have a staggered initiation or just get picked off one by one at the start. You have to be together, you have to force these fights in your own terms. VG isn't always all together. There are moments they split up, like right now. You have Ori all alone, so you could take a 4v5 very easily as Forward.
I believe they actually have vision of Ori in the Dire jungle as well, but a bit too late for that now. Ori, he shows up mid, CCNC throws out the plasma field, but they know Vici Gaming's around there somewhere, and they are smoked up. Forward will smoke up as well, but CCNC reveals it with the passive. Look at all the pings coming out from Vici Gaming. They know he's there. Yang just waiting for the jump in. Smoke not breaking yet, and now CCNC will back off. But they know exactly where he's gone to as well. And now Yang, smoke broken, CCNC gets caught out. Hoof stomp though, no, nice BKB from CCNC. He'll turn it around with a static link. Stampede already committed as well. The rest of Vici just waiting to jump in though. And in fact, just the Glimmer Cape will be enough for Fade or Yang to get out. Now Fade jumps in. Magnetize is good. Paparazzi pops the Battle Trance. Arena of Blood not going to do much. And now the Golem as well. Being dropped on Snaking's head. Parladai goes down. 3 heroes gone with no buyback. Yuar gets caught out with the roll. And now he's got nowhere to go. He's going down as well. 4 heroes, no buyback available. What a setup coming out from Fade once again. And with that, that is at least 1 Rex gone. They're actually in a weird position where they could go for tier 4 towers if they really wanted to, but they will play this safe on the side of Vici and they'll go for the secondary racks up at the top lane.
I mean, it looked really good when CCNC got that really long static link and Yule's off. It's just, I don't know, the BKB came out too early.
Oh, Parladai didn't have borrowed time available. And it does end up costing him. And look at this, Ori, he's thinking about going for tier 4s. In fact, MSS, that's a big melt strike he just copped. Just lost half his HP from that. Will end up surviving in the end, but my god, that's going to be scary to deal with. Yep, they'll get the 2 racks. They'll TP back down to the bot lane on Ori. In fact, he cancels that off. He may just go for the top shrine instead.
I think he's just gonna farm up. He saw that Paparazzi was going down bot, so he just decides to stick around, get his own farm. Doesn't want to split that up. Let Paparazzi get his own fill of gold. And, you know, he's still a bit behind Ori, just about 5k behind, which isn't too bad. What is bad is Yuar. Again, it's almost... The start was different, but this mid-game definitely feels reminiscent from game 1.
They're down Ori. Arena of Blood goes down, but BKB and Ori's just going to man-fight this. CCNC, got to be careful. Now Parladai gets melted, my goodness. CCNC rolled on, he pops the BKB now, but the Stampede is there. They'll go after Snaking instead, and Snaking is basically dead though in the mid lane. They found another. Who is it? It's going to be Yang on the Centaur, but he's still okay. Yuar making the chase, but it's not going to be good enough. The GG call's been made, and Vici Gaming will be the winners of this best of 3, a 2-1 to them. That was just absolute domination from this Radiant side, John, and they're looking good going into this major, I've got to tell you.
They definitely are. It was a bit rough in game number 2, but they